All right. So let's get this stream started. Let me just make sure. So, if you are new to the stream, just know I do this every single Sunday, and I go over different topics every single Sunday. Today I'm just going to kind of go over charting of Bitcoin's history, kind of show you the highs and lows and past history to kind of project what possibly could happen in the future, and also kind of talk about the altcoins, what happened last bull run, so you can kind of get some perspective of what could happen in the next bull run. So I'll go over a bunch of things in this video. But before we get going, just know if you have any, I already said this. If you have any questions, write them down below. I'll try to answer them, and any of these videos that you watch as well. So just write some comments down below. Ask any questions. I answer all my comments. So a lot of people have a lot of questions coming into this space. So just want to kind of help people out. And everything YouTube gives me for this channel goes straight to charity. So, I'm just trying to be as straightforward and helpful as I can, right? Let's talk about the markets right now for a second. So currently, Bitcoin's been touching that 24,000 range. It's been bouncing between 23 and 24 the last couple of days, things have been going well, right? Now, what I wanted to go over, now ignore these lines, by the way. I should actually just pull up a whole different chart, because I don't have exact pricing and stuff on days. I was just kind of messing around to see. But I just kind of want to show you, I'll just use this one. So anyways, a lot of this stuff and the numbers might be a little bit adjusted. I'm going to make a video eventually talking about this. But I want to talk about Bitcoin's volatility for a second. And you know what, actually, what I should do, no, I'm not going to do that. I was going to kind of go over why Bitcoin is going to succeed and stuff like that, but why I believe it will and stuff, but that might take too long. So I just want to kind of show you this chart and show you kind of what past histories have looked like when it comes to bull runs, so you can kind of maybe hopefully get some perspective, right? I don't know. So this is April 2011 that we're starting out at, when Bitcoin was 79 cents. Now, I understand like this is a long time ago, and the only reason why I'm showing you this is just think about the months and the time, the day after day after day, with the price going down, 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 or and with Bitcoin being new and hated on, pretty much it's still hated on to this day. So imagine like the mental strength it would have taken to like really hold through all of these days, especially if you had a large amount in, right? But 2011, this is when like I think the first like angel investors pretty much hopped in, but went from 79 cents all the way up to $30, right? So that's almost a 38x increase, right? Within just 2 months, and then it went from $30 to $2.10 over 5 months. So for 5 months, it went from 30 to $2.10. Now, just imagine it being at 80 cents and it going up to 30, and it's just like this internet money fad thing, right? And then all of a sudden it's crashing for half the year, constantly going down, pretty much. There's a little bit of up range, but pretty much it was down, 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 down. And then that was, let's see, November 2011, and then 2012 hit, and this is important as well, is when crypto started hitting its all-time highs again, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin started to hit its all-time highs. It actually crashed a little bit right here, and then it started skyrocketing to its next all-time high. So it was at $30 at its all-time high. throughout 5 months, it dropped. And then, it was at, $2 to $4. So it only did a 2x. November 2011 until January 2013. So, that's a significant amount of time. Over a year, it's a little over a year. It's it only did a 2x, right? And then all of a sudden, January of 2013 to April of 2013, just a few months as well, it had its next all-time high, going from $4 all the way up to $229, right? That was a 5,000% increase in a 3-month time. 98% pump, and then it did a 70% drop in a week, right? It corrected about half of that, about a week later, 15 to, it corrected about half of that a week later, and then started dipping again, right? So look at the time frame before it hit its not until October of 2013 at about $107 is where it was at. And that was let's see, April all the way through October. It didn't start hitting a bull market again, right? And then all of a sudden, October of 2013 happened, and then boom, it hit close to its all-time high, rejected, and then November of 2013, it passed its all-time high before it did that, right? And then it hit its next all-time high, and look at this long accumulation phase, by the way. Again, April of 2013 all the way up until October of 2013. So this is about a year on this one. 2013 all the way up until... Hold on. So and then it hit its all-time high of 1,100, right? As soon as it hit its all-time high, it just pumped. Little tiny corrections. And I'm sure, right? November 9th, 10th, 11th, lasted one day. What about this one? It only happened a few days before the correction actually over, past all-time high again. So, yeah. The 1,157 around that time was its new all-time high. And then it crashed again for a hell of a long time. Until January of 2015 was its all-time low, mid-January. So 84% drop over 6 weeks, right? And then accumulation. And then this is a long period of time too. So it peaked at $1,000 about December of 2013, and then it dropped about January of 2015, right? So a significant amount of time. And then it didn't pass its all-time high until about March of 2017. So all the way through 2015, all the way through 2016, so about a little over 2 years it took before it passed its all-time high again. Then all of a sudden it hit its all-time high, crashed all the way down to, 700, pumped back up to 1,200, which passed all-time high again, right? This was January 17th to February 17th, so about March 5th. About a month and a half before, so, I mean, I understand these time frames might not mean much to a lot of people, but when you're in the space holding every single day, and especially when you're invested in it pretty heavily like I am, not just I'm like I'm learning about it every single day. It's a hobby of mine, right? I see these prices every single day. So just imagine, this is a long time. December of 2013 all the way up until February of 2017, before it passed its all-time high again. And then all of a sudden it passed its all-time high, and then this is the bull run that we're familiar with right now, right? By the way, if you kind of zoom out, you see all this jumbling of information, but the line's like straight, pretty much, right? These pumps almost mean nothing compared to this next one, right? And every pump before that is the same way, right? Look what this looks like compared to that pump and drop. And then look what that looks like compared to this one, and then this looks like compared to that next one, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, that one looks insignificant, right? So, now this is the one that we're familiar with, and this is where I'm going to take a break from this chart. I'm going to kind of hop over to, I don't really like CoinMarketCap. It's owned by Binance, and you can't really trust the information on there. I normally use CoinGecko, but I'm going to go use their historical snapshots. So I couldn't find it for some reason on their site. I just had to Google it. But if you go to coinmarketcap.com/historical, you can see these historical snapshots. Or you can just go to TradingView and look at these charts yourself, right? I'm looking at the Brave New Coin liquid index for Bitcoin. That goes all the way back, So at any rate, but if you look at the snapshots, this is really when altcoins became a thing, like in 2014-ish, right? Is when all of a sudden you started seeing a bunch of new coins. Wait, where am I? And the only bull run that we really had where there was a bunch of altcoins was the last bull run. So essentially I'm going to take a look at these altcoins and Bitcoin, kind of what happened, what the price range was, market cap and stuff like that, and then we can kind of get an idea of what might end up happening. Now it's kind of difficult for me to talk this way just because oh, is this better? Sorry, I normally have a stand for my phone. I can't find it. I can look at the chat better. All right. Sorry, I just realized I had two other things open. Let me just double check. Okay, cool. So, January. Now I'm not saying any of these projects are gonna do this. I'm just looking at what past projects did, so we can kind of get an idea of what possible great projects look like. You know what? And let's do something probably a little more responsible. Before I do that, let me show you all the coins that have failed. So this is when the first, Namecoin, Peercoin, Litecoin, these were the first forks of Bitcoin. And yeah, none of these exist, right? I mean, they do actually. They actually, I think, actually these all may exist. I'm not sure about these bottom three. I'm pretty sure these two exist still. But Litecoin's the only one that actually, did really well. So, if you had invested in any of these, you wouldn't have done super well, right? And then let's go to 2014, because that's when a couple more came. That's when XRP came, right? And then XRP came, but still, we don't have that many, 67. But look at all these coins. You guys know any of these coins? Anyone who's familiar with crypto? Oh my gosh, Primecoin. Actually, no, I actually do know some of these. But most of them are non-existent, right? There's Doge at 0.000271, right? Right now it's like 0.005. It's like right now. Interesting. But anyways, most of these you've never heard of, right? And most of them failed. So I just need to, make sure that people understand that. So, and the gap I kind of feel like we're in right now. If I'm to compare like a bull run cycle, I feel like this is where we're at right here. So I feel like in 2017, end of 2017, beginning of 2018, it was like right at the end of December. That's when we hit 20,000, which is up here, right? Right, when we hit this peak over here, I kind of feel like this is. I'm gonna kind of compare this last bull run to what I feel like we're going into. So I feel like we're kind of in a point where 2017 18 happened, where Bitcoin hit its 20,000 peak. It took 2 years to dip down, and then all of a sudden it started slowly going up, and then we're right now passing our all-time high. So we might end up dipping down. A lot of people think we might dip back down to 20K, 19K. I don't know. That 19,000 level is a pretty important level. I hope we don't dip below that, but we might go from 24 to 20, 21 or something like that. But it hit its all-time high, and it dipped below it, and then it hit its all-time high again, and then dipped below it again. So before it ended up continually going up. But and then all of a sudden, after it passed its all-time high, it went up to 20K from 1,000, so it did like a 20x. However, from its all-time low of 176, it was at 176, and then it went up to 20,000, right? The all-time low for Bitcoin was around 3,000, 3,400, 3,200, around there. So, and if we kind of take a look at this next, this is where we're at right now. Right, so we dipped hella low. This is when the Bitcoin Cash fork happened, and we kind of hit this low of like 33,000 to 3,300. I don't think it was 3,000. It was like 31. If we go, sure I could find the exact. If I zoom in, 3,209. So we kind of have the same patterns in each bull run when it comes to hitting all-time highs and then it crashing down. And some of these crashes are awful. It has dipped. Bitcoin has crashed more than 90%. I think 4 times, I believe, and it's dipped below 90% like 7 or 8 times, or 80%, right? So this is just crypto, right? So I'm going to take a look at these snapshots now. This was January 1st of 2017, right? This is pretty much when the bull run started in 2017. Bitcoin was around, it just hit its all-time high again, around $1,000. Ethereum was at $8.17. Market cap of 700 million. That's a lot, 700 million, right? And like, right, there's some companies right now with like a 5 billion or 1 billion market cap. They're in the top 10, right? So, look at what happened with like an XRP or an Ethereum or something like that. But Ethereum was at $8.17. XRP was at 0.006. The market cap is important though, and I'll talk about that in a second. Litecoin was at $4.51, right? So Bitcoin hit 1,000. And then at the peak of it, around, Bitcoin was at its 20, it was like 19,600, 19,700 or something like that is where it peaked at. But look at Ethereum. So Ethereum's at a 700. Now this is important because this is kind of what happens with crypto. Bitcoin leads the pack, and then all of a sudden, in an instant, it flips, and within like a week or two, all of the Bitcoin profits get dumped into altcoins. And so Bitcoin did a 20x. Ethereum in this time, it was at $8, and now it's at 7. So, wow, that's actually a significant increase. What is that increase exactly? $719. $719. divided by 817. It's a 88x. So Bitcoin did a 20x, and Ethereum did an 88x. XRP went up to 72 at this time, and it went up to like $3 at its all-time high. But even at this, at 72 cents, we divide that by 0.0063. Oh, what's going on? Divide that. Ah, shoot. 0.72 divided. Oh my goodness. 0.006. Gee, my knees. This did 86x. Wait, what am I doing? 0.76 divided by 0.0063. There we go. 120x. So this did 120x during that time. And XR, and these are top cryptos, right? These aren't like bottom dweller coins. Oh, I recognized one. Sorry, I'm getting off track. Yeah, it had a $200 million market cap, and then 120x'd, right? That's insane. I mean, what would it take to get $1 million divided by 120? $8,300 in XRP would have made you a millionaire. At the number 3 coin, right? Oh crap! Wait. Sorry guys, I'm normally looking at my chat. I'm struggling. Oh wait, yeah, I can move it over here. Hold on. Duh, it's a pop-up window. Alright, cool. You know, Monero is at $13. It went up to 351, right? So altcoins big time overperformed, right? Now check this out. And by the way, these aren't even all-time highs, right? Bitcoin is like $700 away from its, or like $500 from its all-time high right now. Now, if we go, this is December 17th of 2017. Now we're going to January 7th. We're going 3 weeks later. Now check this out. Bitcoin went from 19,000 to 16,000, right? A little bit of a drop. XRP went from 72 cents to $3.38, right? So let's take this calculator and go to $3.38 divided by 0.006. That's a 563x. So 1 million divided by, where is that? 553, 1,800. So if I had $1,800 in XRP back then, by the way, I'm not promoting XRP. I'm just saying, $1,800 in XRP would have made you a millionaire if you had it. And it went from a 28 million. Wait, where are we? At 231 million. This isn't a tiny company. 231 million is a big company, right? I look for low cap gems. For example, this is one of my low cap gems. I'm hoping is gonna make me a gajillionaire. Oh my gosh, it's $1.25. I bought this at I averaged at 93 cents, and it's been under that for a while. And I was actually just about to move a bunch more money in, but freaking not anymore. But anyways, it doesn't show the market cap. It's like it'll show $3 million, but it's the middle of a reverse RICO, so it's between $3 million and 90 million. But that money can be taken away, and who knows? But still. And this is a guy, who created the ERC20 token. So the whole reason why the ICO craze happened is because the guy who created this, he also helped code the Ethereum platform, right? I'm not trying to promote this coin. I guess I am, though. apparently, since I'm talking this way. But I'm just saying, this is like, let's just say it's 100 million, right? And this is a guy who is one of the creators of Ethereum, right? So it's like, there's a lot of good projects out there. I guess I am promoting it. I didn't mean to do that, guys. I just that's just a project I'm excited about, and it's a low market cap. But I mean, like, I'm not going to get into this. but yeah. So a lot of these Ethereum, right? It was at 700, and it did a 2x when Bitcoin dumped. So essentially, what ends up taking place is this market cap, when Bitcoin goes up, you guys, it's not a small amount. Right? Bitcoin right now is at a $436 billion market cap. So when Bitcoin went from like 19,000, 18,000 to 23, right? It's like there's $100 billion, right? 80, $90 billion being added on just onto one project. And so when Bitcoin went from, it was at 320 billion at the 19,000, and then it dumped that, 70, 80, 90, 20, it's like near $50 billion into the market. And so then everyone was selling their Bitcoins for altcoins to get those gains, right? But, but it kept going on. If I go through a couple more weeks, even like third week of January or something, this is one of the coins I made a bunch of money on, but I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't know what Tron was. Don't judge me, all right? I can feel your judgment over the internet. I'm just kidding. But it was at $1 or almost 2 pennies, and it went up to like 28 pennies, right? After this. So even after Bitcoin hit its all-time high and was going down, there was coins that were 20xing, right? 10xing, right? Another one I got into was like Pocoin. At the time it was like helped, with writers and stuff with the, publishing rights and whatever. But anyways, that I got that at like a half a penny. It went up to like 27 after this happened. So now you can't just take that. There's a lot of factors that come into play, and for example, the market cap is a humongo factor that comes into play, right? If XRP did a 556x from this, let's just see what that would look like. Times 556. Is that 72 trillion? That's 1,000 million billion trillion. Yeah, that'd be $72 trillion. That's a lot of money. And then you got to ask yourself, do I believe XRP is essentially going to be the main source of money being transferred through all the banks, kind of take over the financial industry as we know it? That's the only way a $72 trillion market cap could take place. So, and I do think, you just got to figure out what projects you like, right? I have to be careful with words I say. But yeah, let's take that Luxo. So that Luxo, for instance, and again, I'm just going to name that. You know what? Let me do a little bit more responsible one. No. I'm going to do Luxo. That's a good one. I don't know what I'm trying to. No. Okay, let's do a. This is a good idea. Well, before I do Hail Marys, let's do a very responsible what might end up actually happening on a very low end. I'm not going to try to moon my prediction type of deal, right? I'm looking up Chainlink. Come on, it's right here. So Polkadot and Chainlink. These are two projects I personally am heavily involved in, and I believe Polkadot and Chainlink are going to stay for the long haul and be very widely used in the industry. Polkadot, as well as by Gavin Wood. He also was one of the creators of Ethereum. In fact, people think that Gavin Wood is the best coder of Ethereum. And it doesn't compete with Ethereum either. It actually helps Ethereum, right? Gavin's not trying to throw Ethereum under the bus. When he created Ethereum, he actually knew Polkadot needed to exist to help with cross-chain interoperability and scalability and whatnot. And I'm not really And then Chainlink is an Oracle solution, the best, right? I mean, heck, there's a couple companies that I might. 72 cents. Oh my gosh, dude! I just got this at like 40 cents the other day, so I'm pretty stoked. Anyways, so Chainlink currently is a 5 billion, right? So let's say Bitcoin goes up to 100K, right? It only does like a 5x from here. And it takes that market cap of this number. And then I times it by 5. So that would be about a $2 trillion market cap. Which, by the way, gold is 9 trillion. So people always compare Bitcoin to gold. And I'm 100% on board with Bitcoin hitting the gold value. And in my mind, there's no doubt about it. It's going to happen. The only threat I can possibly see right now is like all of the governments in the world getting together to ban it and then like putting people in jail. It's not going to kill it, but it's going to definitely put a dent in it for a very long time, right? But it can't be shut down. They can't do that. It's like shutting down the internet, right? Good luck. But yeah, a 2 trillion, it seems pretty reasonable, especially seeing as Bitcoin is still, there's going to be another phase that Bitcoin's going to hit, and that of adoption of price increase, and that's adoption level. So once Bitcoin's able to scale, then all of these companies can actually onboard and start using it as daily transactions, right? But right now, it can't scale, so there's a problem with it. So even if it gets to 100K, it still has that scalability problem. So once it's able to scale and people can actually use it, then it's going to pump, right? Ethereum's doing that right now. They just started, in the next 2 years, they're going to be implementing different phases, and Ethereum will eventually be able to scale, over 100,000 transactions per second, they say. Just the first phase, they say. So who knows? But I believe at 2 trillions, pretty decent. And at one point, by the way, XRP was half the market cap of Bitcoin. So I'm only saying XRP because it's in the top 5. I want to talk about companies that already have tons of money behind them, because if this company, if this company can do a 15 or 20 or 30 or 40x, right? A lot of people want to put high risk rewards in these companies, like, oh, this one only has 150,000 market cap, and they go put a bunch of money on Uniswap, and there's a ton of millionaires being made that way, absolutely. But it's the very highest risk of gamble that you can do with crypto, right? So we want to be responsible as we can, if we want to be that way, right? But we want to make serious gains. What do we need to make a millionaire, right? So to be a millionaire, right? So like I said, XRP was half the market cap of Bitcoin, as well as Ethereum. They've both touched it, right? So if just the second largest one, if Bitcoin goes to over 2 trillion and Ethereum just goes to 1 trillion, I mean, let's see, that's 1,000 million billion trillion divided by this guy. What did I put divided by? That's still a 13, almost a 14x. So, which, by the way, my bull target is like 8,000 to 16, 20,000 range is where I think Ethereum could very well nestle in that range. When it comes to the price, I think it's a multi-trillion-dollar asset for sure. Now, here's the deal, you guys. There's a lot of haters with Bitcoin and stuff, and I don't understand it. I really, I don't get it. And I'm afraid to, ask, because the only people I know, I'm just going to, get into an argument with them or something like that, so I just, don't really ask people I know. But it's Bitcoin factually solves a huge problem, right? I can now transfer money to anybody in the world. I don't need permission to anybody, and it happens instantly and at a crazy low cost. Like, hello, and it's programmable. So, like, come on. And Ethereum, a lot of people think the Ethereum it's money and the internet. I don't think Ethereum is going to be used as money just because of the fact that it's centralized and there's no cap on the coins that are made, where Bitcoin is not centralized and there is a cap, a little bit under 21 million coins, right? So, but I do think Ethereum is going to be the main platform when it comes to the internet of like the second layer, I guess, of the internet, or third layer, or I don't know how you want to look at it. But all of these crypto applications are going to be built off of Ethereum, and Ethereum is going to be scaling in the next 2 years, within the next 2 years, possibly within the next quarter of next year, right? He actually said phase 0. I could look up the tweet right now, but Vitalik Buterin said phase 0 that you should see scalability, right? Which we're in right now. So, yeah. Now Chainlink and Polkadot, those are my two heavy bags, and I'm like, all right, let's freaking. Where I'm not nervous about losing all my money, right? I've slowly been, and it's not like I've been able to put in thousands of dollars every month, or or even hundreds of dollars every month, right? I just scrimp and save, and luckily over time of doing that, it is it's helped out a lot, I guess. But it's hard to like give numbers. I'm always paranoid of someone like breaking into my house and kidnapping me, or my wife, and telling me, give me all your Bitcoin, right? That's so like dumb. Over the little amount that I have. But anyways, Chainlink, right? Or Polkadot, right? They're both like $5 billion companies, right? 4.85, but they're both around 5. So if both of them became a quarter or a half or around that of what Bitcoin would be, let's say they hit a 400 billion, right? That's a 400,000 million. Why do I struggle with this? 400,000 million billion, right? Why do I don't even know why I'm doing it this way. That's 1,000 million billion. That's an 80x. Oh my gosh. Could have done that in my head, guys. So an 80x, right? Let's see what that would be. 1 million divided by 80, right? That's 12,500 that you would need in one of these, right? If it reached that, right? So it's not like you have to venture too far away. Now I do have coins that venture a little far away, right? Quite a bit, right? Holy moly, dude. Crowcoin dropped from like the top 10 to 20. It's crazy. But yeah, there's a lot of these projects. Aave, the Graph, Uniswap, right? Synthetics. There's a lot of these projects that are Compound, right? That are doing a lot of great things. Kusama. So I'm actually pretty heavy in Kusama as well. At a $400 million market cap. So, right, this is what XRP was, around half of that, right? So people freak out and they think they're too late, but here's kind of my thought process on that. And I won't go into this. I was going to talk about the internet. It's hard to estimate what the internet's worth, right? But it's worth tens of trillions of dollars, right? Gold is worth a little over 9 trillion. It'll soon be $10 trillion. We're just printing money like crazy, right? So numbers are becoming irrelevant more and more as time goes on. But Ethereum is, the internet, and it will be helped with financial transactions, but I think Bitcoin for sure dominates that, because there's a lot of things that make Bitcoin just so much stronger on. And Bitcoin also is a proof of work versus Ethereum. We moved to proof of stake, and I'm not going to go over to what that means, but there's just a lot more security, trust, and stuff like that when it comes to Bitcoin. So I don't think Ethereum is going to take over Bitcoin when it comes to financial, but when it comes to, internet applications, absolutely. So, I mean, so by the way, Uniswap is like the #1 decentralized exchange. Although I just actually saw some new Dex. What the frick is Dodo? I feel dumb for even saying that on a stream. I should know that. What's a private key, right? I don't know if you guys remember that. Back in the day, one of the most OG followed crypto YouTubers didn't know what a private key was after having over 100,000 subscribers, making millions in crypto. It's like, whoa. And if you don't know it, that's fine. But if you're like #1 in crypto, you should know that, right? But anyways, so that's my thoughts on everything. I mean, what would I... Jeez. Yeah, I don't want to start pulling up projects and guessing what it could be, but at any rate, I'm really excited to see what's going to end up taking place. I've been holding, this whole roller coaster I've been holding. I've taken some profits, not as much as I would have liked to at the time, but however, I didn't know. I didn't know the markets. I was new into the crypto space. I got in I think end of 2016, mid 2016 is when I started learning about it. I made my first big investment, it was like a couple hundred, a few hundred, 300 I think or whatever in 2017. And then I started obsessing about it since. And then I think that once at 20K, I was just like obsessed with the technology, and I actually started learning it, deep diving it more. But yeah, now I don't know what it's going to look like and what's going to happen. But if it ends up taking place or ends up anything like the last bull run, we hit our all-time bottom. We finally hit the all-time high, and that was January of 2017. It took all year before we hit the top, and there were even all-time highs. I mean, you just imagine the all-time high being $1,000, and then it going up to 3,000, and then over the course of June 3rd to July, so over a month, it was just dropping from 3,000 down to 2,000. Right? I'm sure that was a scary time for people, or a lot of people were like, dude, it hit its peak. And then it hit a bull run again, up to 5,000, dipped to 3,000 again, right? Oh, look at that. Support line, big time. Boom. You guys see that? Top, bottom. Right? All-time high of 76. A week it just dropped. So, I think the end of next year, 100,000 price target for Bitcoin is reasonable. I think that's a very low projection. And I always tell people 60 to 100 is what I tell people in real life, because I'm nervous of people when they ask me about crypto in real life, all they really want to know is what do I need to do to become a millionaire, right? So if I'm like, oh yeah, it could, and I talk about what I really think may end up happening, or I hope, I'm just like, this is what I believe and this is why, and I get, then they're gonna put all their money into it, and if they lose it because I'm an idiot, then I'm like, well, I feel like a piece of crap now, right? So. I don't know about you. I don't know about people who hold crypto, but I'm almost getting to the point now where when people ask those questions, I just, I right now I just tell people Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, dot. Bitcoin's the safest, Ethereum's the second, Chainlink dot's third. You can do what you want after that, but you're probably going to lose all your money. That's what I tell them. Have fun. If you're willing to hold on to it for years and not get emotional, go for it. But you know, markets aren't like these in the stocks. So I don't know. Tell me what you guys think in the comments if you're still here. You know, tell me if you guys have survived multiple bull runs, right? Yeah, I think we're at a point now. By the way, I might as well talk about a couple of things. USA restrictions, Bitcoin wallet. I'm sure that'll pull it up. So I'll just end with a couple of news topics that ended up taking place. But they think that a lot of the financial, there's gonna be a lot of changes happening in the White House, obviously, and so Brian Armstrong was worried that last week we heard rumors that the U.S. Secretary Michibuchi were planning to rush out some regulations regarding self-hosted crypto wallets before the end of the term. I'm concerned that this would have unintended side effects. So yeah, this news came out a little bit ago. See, it's like a month ago, and I've been hearing more and more about it. And so far, the markets aren't really caring. But yeah, essentially, they may end up saying if you hold a wallet with Trezor, with MetaMask, with any exchange, we need to be able to have access to knowing what you're doing with that wallet. You know, they're going to do some sort of restrictions on it, right? Which is really funny. Here's really what I think. Okay, if the United States says shut down Bitcoin and the rest of the world isn't, then the United States is essentially saying, hey, let's go backwards in time and let the rest of the world progress forward while we deny the future, kind of thing, right? I was just, well, I won't get into that, but they won't do it just because there's so much innovation happening with crypto right now. It would just cause too many problems. So they could have shut it down back in 2011, probably back then, but it got too big now, right? So I don't think this is gonna, you know, come on, you can't shut down Bitcoin. No one's gonna, you know, it could hinder its growth, you know. And they could, I don't know, it could end up shutting down if there's just so many restrictions and they start throwing people away for prison and it just like it becomes so awful. But then it's going to become like, really, you don't want anybody to go outside of your control. Like it would just make it look bad, right? What was the other thing? Dang, something else big just happened too. Sure, I tweeted about it. I'm sure I tweeted about it. Oh yeah, Elon Musk, that's right. So Elon Musk tweeted about crypto again. So he posted this, and then Michael Saylor, in case you don't know Michael Saylor, he's a huge Bitcoin guy. He's put over, so he ended up writing, and in fact, you can just see what he wrote. He put over $1.3 billion in Bitcoin the past few months, but anyway, so he said, if you want to do your shareholders, oh my gosh, I can read, I promise. If you want to do your shareholders a $100 billion favor, convert that Tesla balance sheet from USD to BTC. Other firms on the S&P 500 would follow your lead in no time. And in time it would grow and become a $1 trillion favor. And then he writes back, are such large transactions even possible? Which is really surreal to me. Oh, I just realized my calculator's in the way. Oh my gosh, whatever. I'll fix it later. There you go. But that's really weird that he would ask that. Like, seems like he would know how. Seems like he could read the white paper and understand like how it works. But yeah, obviously it's possible, right? In fact, that's not even why it's so cool. Bitcoin's not cool because it can make huge transactions. That's easy. What's really cool is it can do really tiny transactions, right? And eventually, once it can scale, right? That's end goal. So yes, and then he said yes, that is possible. I've purchased over $1.3 billion BTC in the past month and would be happy to share my playbook with you offline, from one rocket scientist to another. So yeah, he if you don't know Michael Saylor, he just keeps dropping hundreds of millions of dollars into Bitcoin, and he's doing it because of the fact his balance sheet. The United States just keeps printing dollars, and oh my gosh, inflation is getting too high, and he's gonna have to make more money than. Every year he's going to have to make more and more money just to keep up with the inflation aspect. So he could make a higher return on his profit if he puts his money into something that won't lose value, right? So like a gold or like a Bitcoin, right? So interesting. That would be crazy if Elon did that. But he also wrote a bunch of stuff. He put former Doge of CEO on his Twitter. One word, Doge. Fiat is almost as BS as fiat money. Bitcoin is my safe word. Just kidding. He's just trolling people. But yeah, so I'm going to end the stream with that. I super appreciate everyone who has watched it this far. Yeah, if you have any questions, you can write them down in the comments down below, and I can answer them later. I am also, by the way, just to let you know, I am about to post a video about Rebuzz. I was going to do it this morning, but then my rendering time was outrageous, and I couldn't do the stream while it was rendering, so I had to stop it. But hopefully it'll be done by tomorrow. I've been working on it for a really long time. It's completed. I just need to. Frustrating thing is that I actually, the CEO, I was going to do an interview with him, and he's like, oh yeah, totally. He's like, and I'm like, good this weekend. He's like, yeah, I just got back. Everything's good. And then he ghosted me for a week or a week and a half or something. I didn't hear from him for a long time, so I was like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna finish the video. And legit, within 10 minutes of me finalizing it, and I changed the color of this text, and I was like, boom, done. And then I got this ding thing, and it was him saying, all right, you want to do I think I'm free now. You want to schedule the interview for later? I was like, oh man. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that or not. It's gonna be a lot of time and effort. It'd probably be better for the video, but I don't know how I'm going to insert a long interview in a 20-minute video already, but anyways, we'll see what happens. So if you see the video tomorrow or the next day or whatever, I did it. I didn't do the interview. If you don't see it, it's because I'm doing the interview, but we'll see what I decide in a sec later on or whatever. But yeah, that is it. I